Hello and welcome to the channel. Be sure to share, like, and comment down below. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for daily videos on news and politics. Attorney General Sessions defends Rod Rosenstein and FBI Director Wray after another week of deep state failures. Failed Attorney General Jeff Sessions went on with Maria Bartiromo on Sunday Morning Futures this morning. Now, Sessions spoke to Maria after another week where Americans learned the FBI ignored calls to investigate the mass killings of Nicholas Cruz at least 2 times before last Wednesday's Florida school shooting. As well, Attorney General Sessions defended Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who is currently running the DOJ, and the FBI Director Christopher Wray. Florida Governor Rick Scott called on Wray to step down on Friday after it was reported the FBI ignored calls to investigate killer Nicholas Cruz. Now, when asked about recent attacks by Newt Gingrich, Sessions defended the Department of Justice, Robert Mueller, and Rod Rosenstein. Now, this comes after Rod Rosenstein screamed at and threatened Intel Chairman Devin Nunes just a few weeks ago during a private meeting. Sessions and then defended FBI Director Christopher Wray. Now, this was a shocking interview by the failed Attorney General.
Address something else. You mentioned lawlessness. There appears to have been a lot of lawlessness going on in government over the last 8 or 10 years. And I want to ask you about the abuses of the FISA court, because any way you look at it, it appears the FBI and the Department of Justice were abusing their power over the election because they simply did not like Donald Trump. We know that on a number of issues. Now people wanted you to start handing down justice. Newt Gingrich joined me on this program last Sunday. Here's what he had to say about that. Listen to this, Mr. Attorney General.
He is not in any way recused on this information. He should be appointing an independent counsel. He should be demanding that we get to the bottom of this. I'm totally mystified because he's a great guy. He's a solid conservative. He certainly in his career has been a fighter. And this behavior is just totally unlike everything I knew about Jeff Sessions before the last 6 or 8 months.
Are you, sir, investigating the fact that the FBI used the dossier to get a wiretap against Trump associates, and they did not tell the FISA court that the Democrats and Hillary Clinton paid for that dossier?
Let me tell you, every FISA warrant based on facts submitted to that court have to be accurate. That will be investigated and looked at, and we are not going to participate as a Department of Justice in providing anything less than the proper disclosure to the court before they issue a FISA warrant. Other than that, I'm not going to talk about the details of it, but I tell you, we're not going to allow that to happen.
Do we need another special counsel in place to look at what the FBI and the Department of Justice abused its power, how they abused their power?
Well, the Inspector General has been working very hard on that. He's been relentless and tough. I've heard some of his work that's been produced already. Much of what we know about this has been produced by his work and the Department of Justice. The text messages that have all been made public were disclosed by the Department of Justice. We've given Congress records and documents beyond anything ever been produced, really, probably in history, and we're going to continue to be open with them and be responsive. We have a responsibility to ensure the integrity of this process. I'm going to use my authority as the Attorney General to ensure that, but the management of this case, from which I'm recused, is in the hands of Mr. Mueller and supervised by the acting Attorney General for this investigation, Rod Rosenstein, a proven professional and Deputy Attorney General.
Well, there's a lot of conflicts around the special prosecutor's team. We know that, but that's putting aside because I know you recused yourself. But there are felonies apparently that have already taken place. I mean, we had on this program just last week the chairman of the Intel Committee, Devin Nunes, and he said there are felonies that are not looked at all. They're going by over and over. Listen to what he told me just last Sunday.
The big felony in all of this that nobody talks about from the very beginning was the leak of highly classified information when they leaked the phone call of the Russian ambassador talking to General Mike Flynn right before the inauguration. That was a felony. Nothing's ever been done about it.
Is your office investigating this, sir?
That is a violation of the law to leak classified documents, and it is being investigated. I will say this, there are last 2 years before I became Attorney General, each year there was 3 open investigation of classified leaks. Now we have 27. We're going after this aggressively. I have directed it personally. Some of the matters involve this matter, and some of it is matters that I'm not recused on, and we're pursuing aggressively. So you feel that there are matters that you can get into? For example, there's a lot of feeling out there that the Hillary Clinton email investigation was a sham. You know, Loretta Lynch told Jim Comey to call it a matter. That's exactly what he did, and in fact, it was a criminal investigation. We know that he wrote an exoneration letter, Jim Comey did, before he even did the interview with Hillary Clinton. What have you learned in terms of the reopening of the Hillary Clinton email investigation? Will there be charges? Will there be accountability here, sir? Maria, we're going to do our job in this department properly and correctly, and I'm not going to be led into the discussion of all the details of matters that you might be interested in. We can't do that in the media. We're going to restore the rule of law. We're going to restore propriety in how cases are managed, and that's all I can promise you. Do you regret recusing yourself from anything related to Russia, sir? I believe I did the right thing, the only thing I could do. I participated in this campaign, and as such, under explicit regulations of the Department of Justice, no one can participate in the investigation of a campaign in which they were an active participant. Let me ask you a broader question here, because I know it's really hard. I'm sorry, sir? You can't ask other members of the department to follow the law and follow the rules if the Attorney General himself refuses to do so. Yes, that's absolutely true. In terms of a broader look at what's happened here, sir, I mean, we know that there was an incredible abuse of power at the top of the FBI and the Department of Justice now. We've seen the text. We know what has gone on. How do you turn this ship around? I mean, clearly there have been agencies, government agencies. When did it happen that they became so politicized? And can you change this? Maria, I'm not going to acquiesce and acknowledge the correctness of all the statements you've made. People will make up their own mind in due time about those things. But we are setting a tone of professionalism and responsibility and lawfulness in this department. We expect it of every member. We've got a new FBI director, a new deputy FBI director, a new legal counsel in the FBI director's office, and a new press person in the FBI's office. So we've made some real changes there. Chris Wray is a man of integrity and decency, brilliant lawyer, an experienced Department of Justice employee. We intend, and we've made other changes within this department that I think will put us on a path to fulfill my responsibility to the American people, and that is to conduct our work professionally, honestly, and without political bias. And that's all we can ask you to do, Mr. Attorney General.
Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me how you feel about this report. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Let's make America great again. Peace.